Thank you so much for joining us here in Joy Newsroom. Now, a passenger bus traveling from Zibila and Misiga in the Upper East region to Kumasi has been attacked by gunmen in Wali in the Northeast region. The attack was said to have occurred at around 9 p.m. Friday, 26th January, as the bus was entering the Wali township. 6 passengers were injured and are being treated at the hospital in Wali. The police in the region say they are investigating the incident. Meanwhile, military and police patrols have been intensified on the Tamale-Boga highway. My colleague Elias Utanko reports. The 8 incumbent members of parliament on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party will not be returning to the lawmaking chamber next year. This is because delegates of the governing party failed to endorse their candidature for the upcoming polls. My colleague Blessed Soga takes a look at some of the personalities who failed to secure enough vote to contest the parliamentary candidate.
There were heavy casualties in the battle for parliamentary seats in the New Patriotic Party's constituencies. The areas up for contest had incumbent members of parliament facing stiff opposition from other aspirants. In all, 28 incumbent members of parliament lost their seats, bringing to an end their bid to return to parliament next year. Sarah Ajwa Safo is included in that list of incumbent MPs who lost their seats.
Basically, I'm excited. The Miko Abenya people have decided it's a massive victory for the MPP. Going forward, I think what we have to do as a party is to unite all of them, the 3 candidates and their followers, and we make sure we break the 8. The local people, the constituents themselves are fed up with the honorable member of parliament, and that is what has been translated in this vote that we're seeing today.
For now, Aaron Michael Okoye Jr. has the arduous task of securing the next electoral victory for the New Patriotic Party. Ashanti region, the stronghold of the party, also witnessed a shake-up. Eugene Entry, outspoken member of parliament for Subin, who called for the removal of Ken Ofori-Atta as finance minister, is heading home way earlier than he would have imagined. Tina Na Ayele Mensah, deputy health minister. Bright Reku Probe, Deputy Lands and Natural Resources Minister. Gifty Chum Ampofo, Deputy Minister for Education. Frida Prempe, Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources. And Lariba Abudu, Gender and Social Protection Minister, are some of the government appointees who also lost their seats. But some other appointees were spared. That includes Minister for Trade and Industry and MP for Adansi Asokwa, Kabina Tahir Hammond, who was fiery on election day.
I am the undefeated, undisputed, heavyweight champion of politics of Adansi. I remain the champion, undefeated, no champion, no liberty.
Also, Works and Housing Minister Francis Asenso-Boakye, who faced stiff opposition from Ralph Ejapon, clinched onto his parliamentary seat, paving way for him to run for elections later this year.
You were asked to jettison your own son, the true son of Bantama, for someone who does not come from here. But you said no, that will not happen, and that did not happen. But this is MPP. Whenever we are having a contest, we campaign, and after the contest, we come together. So I want to pledge my commitment to a one united MPP that will rally behind Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia for the big battle in 2024.
The New Patriotic Party is hoping that this new mix of old and new candidates will contribute to the party's agenda of breaking the 8-year political cycle and winning victory in the upcoming presidential and parliamentary elections.
Also Also, the Deputy Minister for Local Government and Rural Development and MP for Finso North, Collins Augustine Team, will not be in Parliament in 2025 after suffering a shocking defeat in the Finso North NPP parliamentary primaries. The legislator, who polled 231 votes, representing 37.87% of the total vote cast after conceding defeat, admonished his supporters to rally behind the newly elected parliamentary candidate to enable the party retain the Finso North seat. Now, Anas Sabit has more in the following report.
Voting just ended here in the Finso North constituency of the Ashanti region, and of course at the close of polls, a total of 622 persons turned out to vote, with 12 rejected ballots. The first person on the list is Dr. Fred Che Asamoah. He polled a total of 378 votes, and then the second person on the ballot paper, Roxanne Edugwa, polled 0-1, and then the incumbent who lost to this contest, he doubles as the Deputy Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, Collins Augustine Team, polling a total of 231 votes. So that is what has just been declared by the returning officer, who is the District Electoral Officer for Finso North. Dr. J. Asamoah polled 61.97%.
On the part of the winning candidate, Dr. Fred Che Mensa, who was as the Director General of the Commission for Vocational and Technical Education Training, he believes that he has what it takes to ensure that the party retains this particular seat. He said he's going to do everything possible to ensure that the NPP wins the 2024 general elections.
I believe my victory is going to spark some kind of revolution within the New Patriotic Party that will enhance the governance ability of the party. On top of it, I want to appreciate all my team members for the hard work. And for me, my ultimate aim is to make sure that the New Patriotic Party becomes successful in the 2024 election.
For the incumbent member of parliament who doubles as the Deputy Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, Collins Augustine Team, he's been, urging, his faithfuls to throw their weight behind the winner in the person of Dr. Fred Che Asamoah, and he has pledged to do his bit to ensure that the NPP maintains the Finso North seat, as well as support the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, to win the next election as the President of the Republic of Ghana.
I want to advise all my supporters, my delegates. It's not all the time that Collins will be a member, but at a point in time, I have to end. That is destiny. So I want to rally behind you, support the incoming parliamentary candidate. I want to urge everyone, each and every one, please. The key thing here is when, for our parliamentary candidate, our presidential candidate, we maintain the seats. And I want to believe that everybody will come together to support that cause.
So after 16 years of parliamentary representation, Collins Augustine Team joins a tall list of experienced members of parliament who will not be showing up on the floor of parliament after January 7, 2025. From the Finso North constituency for Joy News, my name is Anas Sabit, reporting.
Meanwhile, thunderous jubilations erupted in Soma Saturday evening after the incumbent member of parliament for Ablekuma West constituency, Esla, also secured a landslide victory, garnering 817 of the 1,078 vote cast. Her all-in contender, Robert Kwesi managed 241 votes with 20 rejected. There's more in the following report. Thunderous jubilations filled the atmosphere as Kwame Ampedu, the Ablekuma Municipal Electoral Officer, declared the final result of the primaries at the Liberty Park in Dansoman.
Candidate number 1, Osla Gifty Owusu Ekufu, had 817 votes. Candidate number 2, Ronnie Kwesi Noko, had 241. Now, so candidate elect is Madam Esla Owusu Ekufu. By the power vested in me as the Municipal Electoral Officer and on behalf of the Electoral Commission, I declare Esla Owusu Ekufu parliamentary candidate elect for Ablekuma West.
Madam Esla Owusu, calling for unity, attributed the victory to hard work, emphasizing the seat retention for the NPP.
I'm not surprised. We've done a lot of work in the constituency, and our executives have reaffirmed their trust and hope in me to retain the seat for the NPP. And I can only tell them that, as my campaign slogan says, it is possible together. Together we will win and win and win again and break the 8.
What is your message to your opponent?
I wish he had stayed to congratulate me, because that's what is expected of all contestants in there. The contest is over. The delegates have spoken. It is time for us to join forces to do the work of the MPP in this constituency. So I'm welcoming him to join our campaign so that we can forge ahead in unity and retain the seat for the NPP. And we'll do whatever it takes to do that. Somebody has been to Parliament with 3 votes. So the important thing is that we are winning and we are retaining the seat, and we are winning more votes for our presidential candidate, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, to break the 8. That for me is our focus. NDC is not my focus. I've beaten them 3 times, I'll beat them again.
The District Chief Executive of Adan East, Sarah Dubaki Pobi, and the MPP's parliamentary candidate for Nkwanta South constituency, Sharifa Setre Tijani, described Esla's victory as inspiring.
Her level of hard work and the strength that she exhibits, it's admiration to a lot of us. So I'm happy for the results. It has shown that indeed she's a strong woman. She's not just strong, but she's somebody who is an example to the young women that are coming up in politics.
We, the women who are also learning from her, should also be up and doing. And I say congratulations to her.
In response to Robert Kwesi Nicole's concerns about campaign and accreditation, the MPP's Director of Communication, Richard Ahiagba, stated that the party is prepared to address the issue if it is brought to their attention.
If it gets to the party, we refer to a disciplinary committee. They'll look at it. If there are merits in it, it will be looked at. But as far as I know, I have not seen anything that is done here untoward. And the result will demonstrate to you that is a unanimous endorsement of the minister. So if it was a close election, then you can make those allegations. But this is a resounding victory. I don't see anything done untoward. But of course, if it has reason to believe that it's been treated unfairly, by all means, it should appeal that or petition the disciplinary committee for some redress.
Party faithfuls in the Ablekuma West constituency affirmed their determination to maintain the seat for the party in the CS elections. Reporting for Joy News, Carlos Caloni, Ablekuma West constituency, Accra. Now, Interior Minister Ambrose Derry believes electorate in the Nandom will decide the fate of the New Patriotic Party and the National Democratic Congress based on merit. He is, however, of the firm belief that the NPP has outperformed the NDC. Ambrose Derry made the remarks after he was retained through popular acclamation at Nandom.
Interior Minister Ambrose Derry holds a lone horse in the New Patriotic Party NPP Nandom constituency parliamentary primary. His selfless approach to developing the constituency and the people are clear for the 420 delegates in the maze of supporters crammed at the London St. Teresa Parish Hall. The reason why he is cool, calm and collected and not going through the frustration, sleepless nights, disloyalty, and above all, uncertainty that aspirants elsewhere are being subjected to in their party's primaries. The boss, as he is affectionately called by his supporters for years to come, will still remain a dominant force in the politics of Dundum and the region at large. The delegates were eager and in a hurry to acclaim the member of parliament that has changed the complexion of politics in the area and bettered their lives. And when the question was thrown by the Dundum electoral officer, Isaac Akoto Dako, they did not disappoint him. Ambrose Derry, in accepting to be the MPP parliamentary candidate for the 2024 polls, paid glowing tribute to the Catholic Church led by the late Cardinal Porokul Derry and all past parliamentarians of the area, recognizing the good works they did which impacted positively on the lives of the people. He then moved on, generating a debate between the MPP and the NDC as to which of them performed better for the people of Nondom, and ended sticking his neck out for the MPP.
What we are going to do in the campaign coming is to ask our people to choose between the MPP and the NDC, who has developed more. And therefore I ask my people, who developed more? It's obvious that the road network is known. Highway, we pulled it through us to Hamley. We have dropped it. We are going through Brutu, going to Domini. Urban roads, we have done Nandom roads, still ongoing as I talk to you. The next one we are going to do is Brutu to Danko. We'll be doing the road in the hospital, and we'll be doing next one to Kole. The EU roads have done a lot of work. Water, we are in all the communities, we're still counting. Electricity, we pulled it more than any other group. The NDC cannot challenge us with that. Employment, we have employed more people than the NDC has ever employed.
He pledged with the support of the party to work to increase the party's parliamentary and presidential votes in the 2024 polls.
In 2016, I won over my brother of the NDC by 800 votes. In 2020, thanks to their work and support of Nandome, we raised it to over 4,000 votes. The president, who used to have a gap between he and the NDC about 12,000. The last time he was beaten by just 1,000 votes. But there's something I need to comment him for. While my votes increased by over 4,000, his votes also increased over 4,000, but his votes increased by 31 votes more than my votes. So it meant that Nandom is moving in the right direction. Today, I'm telling them, you want me Baumia? They said yes. We need to move forward with Baumia as a flag bearer. And I'm telling them, are they ready for us to increase the gap? Are you ready for us to increase the gap? So we are going to increase the gap. And we will emerge with a large Dr. Mahmoud Baumia as president, and my humble self, Ambrose Derry, as MP for Nandom.
In neighboring Lamuse constituency, Dr. Bright Baligi was also retained as the party's parliamentary candidate for the 2024 general elections.
It wouldn't serve our collective interest should I win as a member of parliament, whilst even if the flag bearer wins as the president, we lose the presidential votes here. I commit to the project, and I want to state that the work starts now, and it starts with you. We have provided you with all it takes. All the arsenals are at your disposal, at your community levels, for you to charge the voters to go out there and endorse Dr. Mahmoud Baumia as the president.
There was, however, a win for Deputy Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, Amiri Chinya Isaku, in a contest dubbed uncle and nephew contest in the Sasal East constituency. Amidu Jr. won a landslide victory against his maternal uncle and political science lecturer at the University of Ghana, Dr. Josoje Puntie-Zato.
The MPP must not see this election as an election of Amidu and Jabunti. It's an election of the MPP, and the MPP is the winner. But let me say that the delegates of Sisala East have vindicated my claim that I am a practical politician and I understand what is on the ground. And it is the same approach I'm going to apply in the general election, and by the grace of God, I will defeat Batakale hands down.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam, Nandom.
Now, some first-time aspiring members of parliament seeking to lead their constituency into this year's general election had their ambitions quashed following their abysmal performance in the just-ended MPP parliamentary primaries. The likes of COP George Alex Mensah and the Controller and Accountant General Kwesi Bosompem were among first-time aspirants whose political vision was cut short. My colleague Stanley Nibleu has put in more in the following report.
The MPP primaries brought colorful smiles to the faces of some candidates, but also threw others into a state of misery after they failed to secure the nod to lead their constituencies into this year's general elections. Most of these aspirants were convinced of victory, so they put in their all just to make their vision a reality. But the delegates remained the final adjudicators. The contest cut short the aspirations of some parliamentary hopefuls, especially new faces who sought to unseat the incumbent. In the Bekwai constituency, 4 persons filed to contest the seat after the incumbent MP, Joe Seusu, indicated that he was not going to seek re-election. However, COP George Alex Mensah, retired, who was at the center of the controversial IGP leaked audio tape saga, failed to make his dream of becoming the MP for the Bekwai constituency a reality after losing the slot to Ralph Edusipoku. The quest by the Controller and Accountant General Kwesi Bosompem to unseat the current MP for Achim-Swedru constituency, Kennedy Osei-Nyako, also failed. Mr. Bosompem refused to relinquish his position as the Controller and Accountant General to pursue his political dreams, even though the minority mounted pressure on him to do so. The Bantama constituency, which was a contest between a Yuton Bas and an Aboboya, saw the Bas fatally crashing the Aboboya as Ralph Ejapon, brother of Asin Central MP Kennedy Ejapon, failed his bid to take dominance over the seat of that constituency. For Ralph Ejapon, unity is key.
Unity is the most important thing. He's done well. I must concede. Are you confident of winning? What happened? Yes. No. I told you, I told you it was an election. Yes. It was an election. You either win or lose. And I've lost. He won. So he's done well. I congratulate him. Tomorrow life goes on.
Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Education, Kwesi Kwatin, was also among the new crop of aspirants who received the shock of their political career when delegates in the Asante Achem North constituency explicitly denied him the opportunity to represent the constituency in the 2024 elections. Despite the defeats chalked by some first-time aspirants, a host of them also emerged successful. In the Domi Kwabenya constituency, CEO of the Ghana Free Zones Board, Mike Okwe Jr., was lucky to have stung the incumbent MP, Sarah Joasafo, after 2 failed attempts.
I hereby declare Michael Aaron Okwe Jr. as the parliamentary candidate-elect for Domi Kwabenya constituency of the MPP.
I feel very good because I know this battle belongs to God.
As a first-timer, the CEO of the Coastal Development Authority, Jerry Ahmed, also managed to unseat the current MP for Wejagbawe, Tina Mensah, after switching constituency from Ablekuma South.
It's not been an easy fight. It's been a very tough one. And I just thank God for helping me through.
The Sikado Ketan constituency in the Western region saw delegates usher in Charles Bisiu as the new face of the MPP in that constituency. This was after Joe Gate, the incumbent, decided not to contest the seat again. Charles Bisiu became popular after investigative journalist Anas Arimiya Anas captured him in a Galamsey scandal, but was later investigated and cleared by the presidency.
Now, allegations of widespread voter inducement characterized the just-ended primaries. Items offered ranged from cash to material gift. My colleague Stanley Nibleu followed the election keenly and reports.
Ghana's electoral process until recently has been fraught with monetary inducement, making the process expensive for people who aspire to venture into politics, caused by some civil society organizations and well-meaning Ghanaians to reduce or eliminate monetary influence in Ghana's electoral system has not yielded much results. For former chairman of Ghana's Electoral Commission, Dr. Kwadwo Afarijan, the dominance of monetary inducement in elections in the country is a shame, adding that it only defeats the fundamental principles of the country's democracy.
What we have now looks like an open market where candidates can freely buy votes and citizens can freely sell their votes in broad daylight, while we all look on seemingly unconcerned. But it is a shameful spectacle.
The just-ended MPP's parliamentary primaries is just a tip of the iceberg, but also rekindles a major national concern. The primaries received wide allegations of voter inducement. In the Wejagbawe constituency of the Greater Accra region, delegates alleged that the incumbent MP, Tina Mensah, influenced voters by sharing 2,000 cedis to them, while her contender, Jerry Ahmed, paid 200 Ghana cedis. Some beneficiaries of the inducement did not shy away.
110 on 17 27 normal 2000.
There are 110 delegates from my electoral area, but the MP selected only 27 of them and gave each 2,000 cedis. The rest of the delegates didn't get anything, so the little that Jerry Ahmed came to give us, everyone was contented with, so we decided to vote for him.
Delegates who did not benefit were pissed. In the Swami constituency of the Ashanti region, the constituency chairman alleged that the delegates were given 50 cedis by the aspirants so as to secure their votes. Delegates in the Doboya constituency in the northeast region were also not left out, as there were reports of aspirants sharing motorbikes during the elections. But the Ashanti regional chairman of the party, Bernard Nchibuesiakun, Elias chairman Wintumi, said the monies given out were to serve as transport for delegates.
Okay. So you see nothing wrong with some of these aspirants giving out money to delegates to vote in their favor?
Oh, my brother. You as a journalist, we have to be in reality. Once I'm going, you look for Laura first. Is it not normal in Ghana? Or you will look for Laura Fair, then you say it. So once I'm going, I'll go free.
I want to look for Laura Fair from you.
Yes, then I will do that and give you everybody a lot.
So what is your opinion when it comes to delegates taking money from aspirants to?
Nobody is doing that. Nobody is doing that. Now they have voted and finished.
From this justification, it is clear that the country will need to do more than necessary to reduce or eliminate the practice of voter inducement from our body politics.
Now, President Akufo-Addo has commended winners of yesterday's parliamentary primary polls and urged losers to rally behind their winning colleagues and the flag bearer to annex victory for the NPP in the upcoming general election. Now, this was contained in a statement issued to the party. My colleague James Aveji joins us with further details of this particular statement. Now, James, what more does the statement say? Hello, James.
Well, Carlos, so the statement actually started by congratulating the rank and file of the NPP and then went on to congratulate the security services as well as the media for a job well done yesterday. The president then proceeded to congratulate all of the aspirants who have been able to make it through yesterday and went on to urge those that have lost to put the results of yesterday behind them and rally behind the winners. He says that those that have been elected yesterday, he believes are a blend of both experienced and matured politicians and the youthful ones who have been elected. And so that new blend would be something that would help the NPP to break the 8 come the next general election. And so he thinks that, if you have lost, no need to hold a bad faith. You need to support your winner, as well as the vice president, and who is also the flag bearer of the party now, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, in order to break the 8 for the NPP and swear the party or the vice president in on January 5, 2025.
All right. Thank you so much with those details from my colleague James Aveje. Now I'll go back to our earlier story where a passenger bus traveling from Zebila and Misiga in the Upper East region to Kumasi has been attacked by gunmen in Wali Wali in the Northeast region. The attack was said to have occurred at around 9 p.m. Friday, 26th January, as the bus was entering the Wali Wali township. 6 passengers were injured and are being treated at a hospital in Wali Wali. Now, the police in the region say they are investigating the incident. Meanwhile, military and police patrols have been intensified on the Tamale-Boga highway. Elias Otanko reports.
Eyewitnesses say the gunmen, numbering about 4, emerged from a nearby forest at the town's outskirts and opened fire with the intention to ground the vehicle and target the passengers. However, according to the eyewitnesses, the driver, who was shot in the leg, managed to stay on course until finally crashing the vehicle into the wall of a senior high school in Wali Wali and about 200 meters away from the attack location. 6 people, including the driver, were injured by the gunfire and were rushed to the hospital. At the crash scene, students of the Wali Wali Technical and Vocational Senior High School gathered the next morning to watch with shock and surprise the extensively grounded vehicle and the serious damage caused to their school wall. When approached, the students declined to comment. After the attack, security personnel quickly arrived at the scene and helped the passengers to alight from the vehicle. The passengers who survived the attack were then shepherded to safety inside the municipal police headquarters that is just a handshaking distance from where the vehicle crashed. At the police station, some of the survivors spoke to Joy News.
Do you know the number of people that have been injured? Approximately 6. Including the 6-year child. So now that you are at the police station, have they told you anything? What are you doing here? And when are you leaving? Do you know? The police have assured us that they are arranging for a bus to come and then transport us to the bus.
Free the blanep. If you bedroom, the Muhani the Becrum. You must almost to Naja, it's when I can't very brave. A big kind of driver in line. Yes, I can say to a can be and them in a den. And so it's me say we are free, but I'm to at the Bayanity, not the 9 near tear break this minute to the currency. And a job buffa school more the Koshidri and Musabaya or be saved. It's a driving in a vampire man. Because I know Katama is 20 can no Jinawa, coming yes, sure say any what kind winner could be best survive.
Well, what they told about never about 6. And I know because I may throw on a hospital to call home hospital. I'm going to tell more attacking. But I don't hear the end. In the end, I didn't hear a vampire man. Yadefo, I'm not going to do my son.
The identity of the attackers and their motive remain unclear as police in the region are tight-lipped. However, for some time now since November 2021, the Wali Wali Bolga portion of the Tamale Bolga Highway and the Bolgatanga Boko Polmakum Road have remained deadly, with more than 15 armed attacks on motorists and more than 20 deaths, mostly innocent civilian travelers and traders. Despite the deployment of a special military and police forces on the road, the attacks keep recurring with seemingly no sign of abating. From Wali Wali, Elias Otanko reporting for Joy News.
Now, the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission has lent its support to government's intention to impose a value-added tax on domestic electricity consumption. The new VAT on electricity has met strong opposition from a section of the public, including labor unions. The Trades Union Congress last week gave a 1-week ultimatum to government to reverse the decision or face thereof. While speaking on Newsfile on Saturday, Chief Executive Officer of the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, Ben Arthur, says the tax will help government revenue mobilization agenda.
I mean, you must side with me that government needs to mobilize revenue. Where are we going to get it from? Obviously, it has to come from us. But of course, if there's a section of the public that is aggrieved, especially public sector workers, and the workers of this country are aggrieved by the policy or a law that has been passed by Parliament, definitely for implementation, there's a need to dialogue. And for me, demonstrations and ultimatums might serve their purpose, but that is not the best of approach. Dialogue is the way forward. You should not forget something. Yourself, you are a lawyer. And you know in the Constitution, we are mandated as citizens of this country to also contribute our quota. So the question is, in this challenging time, where is our quota? What must we do? And how must we do it? And so we all have the joint responsibility to make this nation work. So if government is asking, I do not think that it is a joy of any government in this country to be imposing taxes every day and night. I do not think so. But we have a challenge that must be resolved. In times past, when government could not raise revenue, and we had very difficult times, what government resorted to was to lay off workers. You and I have been long in this country, besides in the 80s, when there were a lot of retrenchment, layoff, and the rest. Is that what we want to witness in this country? Obviously, no worker, especially in the public sector, is willing to welcome such news. That is an alternative for government in order to cut down its budget. That's also an alternative. But is it an alternative that speaks to the well-being of our colleagues who work in the public sector? So there is a need to strike a delicate balance.
But the Trade Union Congress believes the tax will be a burden on workers. Listen to Secretary General of the TUC, Dr. Yaobaho, reiterate the union's resolve to oppose the tax.
It's not right. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you have an IMF program or not. The situation we found ourselves in the last 2-3 years, it is irresponsible on the part of government to tax Ghanaians again. It is not right. We can change it. Or I challenge them to bring all the stakeholders together. And my brother, I can assure you this country will get out of this mess.
You gave a 7-day ultimatum.
Yes.
What is today, and what responses are you getting from government, and what are your plans?
We've got some responses. I'm not sure if I have to discuss that. Even when I was driving this morning, I received some phone calls. I'm not sure if I should discuss this on radio. But we gave up to 31st of this month. Today is 27th. We don't have a lot of time. And I hope that this government will act very quickly, to ensure there is peace in this country. Otherwise, I can assure you, my brother, after 31st, you will hear from organized labor. We are committed, we are determined that this tax will never be implemented. And we will do whatever it takes for government to take a stand on it.
You're still watching Joy Newsroom with me, Carlos Kaloni. We'll take a short break. We'll return with more with business. Please stay with us.
expecting a debt to December. And guess what? In just 2 years, the city's value to the dollar has halved. Ghana is over 90% small businesses, and SMEs are suffering. The youth is angry at unemployment and underemployment. And the gap within our societies is pregnant. I mean, is there even a middle class now? It feels like you are either at 10 or you are at 0, and that is not a good feeling at all. Everybody's preaching entrepreneurship. From governments to other institutions, even salaried workers are now preaching entrepreneurship. That is why you join me, Dr. Maxwell Ampo, on Mondays and Thursdays on Joy News Prime, DSTV channel 421, and also on the Joy Business Report on Joy 99.7 FM, as we understand simple nuggets to aid us navigate this global economic downturn. And we do this not as individuals, but as a people, as business people, as entrepreneurs. Let us bring out the entrepreneur in you.
Welcome back. Now, in business, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta says he expects the economy to firmly stabilize in the coming month. Now, it follows significant progress made under the IMF program, which has led to the disbursement from the institution and the World Bank. Ken Ofori-Atta cites other programs being implemented to help check budget overruns and help improve revenue. Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta spoke to Joy Business.
The numbers are clear. Inflation has gone down by 31% within this period. Growth has been strong, despite what we think. The banks performed much better than we thought, and the currency has held. These are important flag posts, and we'll continue to keep at them. And so I'm expecting a pretty robust year with regards to the economy. We will make sure that job creation continues. We will make sure that the social protection is not compromised, and certainly industry will be supported. The mutual prosperity dialogue, which is engaging government more actively with the private sector, will continue. And I think we'll continue to hold our heads up in the months ahead.
Any special support for the private sector? They still see cost of credit as a major challenge for them. And how would also this impact on the cost of credit for them?
It is. I mean, it's evident, and therefore the issue of the supremacy of inflation. As we move forward, the central bank is clear on moving us towards 8 plus or minus 2, target 15, and we'll stick to it. It's been having to take very difficult decisions, bold decisions, but nonetheless stick to it. And I think the evidence is clear for all of us. So for me, we can't be timid about the way forward. Taxes are difficult for everybody, but that's what helps with the stability. And I think once we begin to speak one language, the resilience is clear. We should be able to do it. We named our budget Inconim budget, and I dare say that will be victory.
You talked about the budget, and I was trying to wrap up. You talked about taxes. How is the budget implementation going for you as a minister? I mean, getting everything passed,
this is
revenue, taxes.
January 13th, and in terms of notifications for the MMDAs have all happened. In terms of the PFM, to make sure that MMDAs follow through and no excessive expenditures will occur. Things that are not in your budget will not be countenanced. It's going to be a firm, steady drive to ensure that we meet our goals.
Businesses feel that they are being suffocated with the level of taxes. What do you say about that, Will?
I don't know about that. I mean, I think in all environments, nobody really likes taxes. But George, we are 13-14% revenue to GDP. And that says a lot. We should be at 20%. And so what is it? We're going to have a seminar with GRA on the issue of client relationships and exactly how to ensure that people are clear on the taxes that they have to pay and that there's no coercion in what it is done, and also get ideas on things that need to be rationalized for us to move forward. But I think once we, technology is going to be key, and I think we are going to.
If we rein in on expenditure, can we deal with this whole challenge about our tax GDP ratio argument?
If you rein in, well, that's revenue to GDP.
Yeah.
So
the argument is that we are low, but some are saying that maybe if you also look at expenditure as well, it won't be a big challenge at all.
I mean, expenditure at any point in time in any entity's life, you constantly have to be reviewing that, and we will do that.
Sports is up next. Stay with us.
Is important. It's the only way you get to know the things that happen around you, what affects you today and the future. At Joy News, we have reporters scattered around the country who tell us about the communities they live in, the people and their stories. The key part of our job here at Joy News is to make clearer the muffled voices in every part of society. We shine light on the issues. My name is Aisha Ibrahim, and this is Joy News. Independent, credible, and fearless.
In sports, Black Star defender Mohamed Salisu has apologized for getting into a confrontation with a journalist after Ghana's final group game at the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations. Now, the 24-year-old was seen in the mixed zone after the Mozambique defeat that ended Ghana's campaign, asking to be allowed to fight a journalist whom he deemed to have insulted him. Now, Salisu's comment drew wide criticism from fans who were not impressed with his performances in the tournament. Now, nearly a week after the Black Stars gave away 2 goals in added time to draw 2-2 against Mozambique and exit the AFCON, he took to social media to express regret for what happened in Cote d'Ivoire. And in quote, it says, "It's with deepest regret that I am writing to you about our disappointing campaign in the 2023 AFCON." Quote, and now the Monaco defender wrote on Instagram. Also, Nigeria sealed a place in the last 8 of the ongoing Africa Cup of Nations following the win over Cameroon on Saturday night. Now, the Super Eagles claimed a 2-0 win over the indomitable Lions to ensure an easy passage into the next round of the competition. Ademola Lookman scored in both halves for Jose Pereiro's men as they advanced at the expense of the 5-time AFCON champions. Now, Semi Ajayi opened the scoring for Nigeria after 9 minutes, but the defender's goal was chopped off. The video assistant referee spotted an offside. But there was no denying Nigeria 10 minutes away from the end of the first half of Victor Osehem's brilliant play set up Lookman to break the deadlock. Now, Nigeria continued their dominance after the break and pressed for the second goal, which eventually came in the 90th minute as Calvin Bassey turned the provider this time for Lookman. With a 2-0 win, Nigeria go through to the quarterfinal of the competition where they face Angola, who were 3-0 win over Namibia earlier. That'll be all for sports. World News is up next. Stay with us. Now, in world news, a number of countries, including the United Kingdom, have halted their financial support for the UN Agency Assisting Palestinian Refugees, UNRWA. Now, the decision follows the agency's dismissal of multiple staff members amid allegations linking them to the October 7 Hamas attacks. Now, expressing dismay, the UK government condemned Israel's accusations. Alongside the UK, the US, Australia, Italy, Canada, Finland, the Netherlands, Switzerland, and Germany have also suspended additional funding to UNRWA. Now, established in 1949, UNRWA is the largest UN organization operating in Gaza, offering essential services such as healthcare and education to Palestinians across Gaza. Now, the West Bank, Jordan, Lebanon, and Syria, with approximately 13,000 employees in Gaza alone, the UNRWA has been pivotal in providing refuge to hundreds of thousands of displaced civilians during Israel's recent offensive triggered by the October 7 attacks. In response to Israel's claim, the UNRWA has initiated an investigation into the matter. Israel has persistently accused various United Nations bodies, including UNRWA, of bias and anti-Semitism. That's it for the world news, and that's all we have in this hour. You can log on to myjoyonline.com for more stories. My name is Carlos Caloni. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good afternoon.